All right, y'all. Welcome back to
Activating the truth and doses.
activating the truth in doses. No, we're not gonna put that.
We gonna keep that one.
No, we're not
Yep,
gonna
we
keep that.
keeping it,
No,
y'all.
no,
Y'all
no,
gonna see
no,
us
no.
going back and forth. We keeping it.
Lies.
I told her we're not cutting it.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to dose 3 of activating the truth in doses.
Well, we
I
are.
am B Jackson. Huh?
Go ahead.
What?
I shouldn't have said nothing. Go ahead.
Take 3.
We still gonna keep it.
No, we not.
Watch.
We can put this on the blooper reel, but we're not putting this in the.
Yeah.
No.
Come on. All right, go ahead.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome back to Activating the Truth in Doses, and this is dose 3. I am V Jackson.
And I'm LeVar Green, Mr. I Stay Mad.
Always.
Always. I'm smiling though.
He mad but he's
Today.
smiling. Now, if you've been here before, you know that MAD stands for something. What does it stand for, bro?
Motivated and determined, but it's really a 3 thing now because it started like that, but it's making a decision to make a difference in your life and stay motivated and determined while you do in every aspect. So
Yeah,
we growing
we're growing.
because it was just mad before.
Yeah.
Just mad about everything.
Little angry red man.
Right.
Anybody ever seen Inside Out?
Yes,
He was the red guy.
times 2
We used to talk about how the fire would come out. Yeah.
all the time. But her hair matches the
Yeah.
anime. So-
Chandler Inside Out.
Yeah. So listen, we speaking truth and sparking transformation. That's the whole premise of what we got going today.
Right.
And every time we're on the show, the goal is to capture as many people's ears for God, you know, for your purpose in life, to help you either get on track, stay on track, press reset, pivot. You
Get
know, it
started.
happens a lot.
Take the
So,
first
yeah,
step.
Absolutely.
All the things.
Yep, all those things. So it ain't gonna be perfect, but guess what?
It is
What
not.
is?
Nothing.
That's
That's coming to a dose near you real
Right.
soon. That's the topic we're gonna talk about. Because a lot of
Absolutely.
people out here trying to achieve perfection, and God help them.
So it's been a busy week.
It has been a busy week.
How you been?
It's been a busy week. I was
Y'all
on
notice a
spring
deep
break.
breath?
I was on spring break, and the airline will remain nameless or whatever. But I got stranded in DC. My flight was supposed to take off, and there was some bomb threats and FAA investigations, and then we pulled off from the gate, y'all. We was like, yeah, we going home.
Right.
And then they was like, yeah, the crew's just been grounded. They hit their timeout limit. So we precisely pulled right back into the gate and offloaded the plane. So I got an extra day there or whatever. Or
We was
evening.
gonna load up and come get you.
Listen, Andre was like, we ride at dawn.
Cause you know, if your sister, my wife, would have heard, "Where my friend at? We gotta get my friend. I
She was
don't
gonna
got
come
time
get
you
me.
all."
Thank you, friend. Thank
Yes,
you.
that's exactly how she sounds too when she gets very excited.
Yes.
I love you, wife.
But yeah, so it's been an interesting week. My first spring break, I was now working for public school district or
Right.
whatever.
Which will also remain.
It will remain nameless. Right. Or whatever. Yes,
Mine
I love
too.
my job.
We both work for a school board now. So let's do this real quick before we get into today's topic. This is something interesting about the dynamics of this relationship, right? So this is my little big sister.
Yes.
We're both born in June.
Yes.
So her husband, my wife, we just all get along so
Yeah.
good. And it's interesting because we have very similar psychological makeups.
Yeah.
I stay mad openly.
Yeah.
Somebody don't tell everybody she mad.
I
But
kind
she's
of
like
reserve
the
it.
female version.
That's
of me.
not for everybody to know. Like, now, if it do come out, like, you have pushed me to the limit.
Right.
Like, I am done.
And it's not just about the hair color, the matter she is, because she just like to keep it really spicy. Like she be having some
Spicy.
hair colors for you.
Yeah.
And then and then the glasses, y'all gonna peep. So the more you watch, you're gonna see the glasses game is ridiculous. I ain't wear mine today. I got my contacts in. So if you see my left eye getting a little dry because I don't like wearing contacts. So hopefully they don't. You know.
Another thing we have in common.
Right.
Because right now, listen, I'm with you, but you braving pollen season with some contacts in?
If I fall asleep, then I don't know what's going on.
The pollen be like, yeah.
Right, because eyes be swollen. But yeah, so like we have this very similar, like just personality. Like, and it's so crazy. So even as we met, we all been hanging out for how long now?
I think I saw a picture in my phone recently, and it said 9 years ago when we first went to Cirque du Soleil. That was one of the first
Okay.
things we went to go do together,
Okay.
the couples or whatever.
Right.
And so probably a little over 9 years.
Okay.
Probably closer to 10.
So it's been a minute.
That's crazy
Right,
though.
time
Like,
flies.
cause y'all seem like y'all been here forever.
It
like,
don't seem like that.
I don't even know. That's how long y'all been here. I don't even remember when y'all got here. It just seemed like y'all were always here.
And we connect, like, so we stay close. We stay not even 10 minutes away now. They was staying further, but then just the Lord is so amazing.
Listen.
Moved them down to this place in Metro Atlanta that will also remain nameless. Because y'all probably never heard it anyway, so whatever. But they moved down to this place where we live at. They're like, dang, like we close now. We connect all the time.
Listen, and I was so against it at first. I was like, it's too far. I'm not moving out there.
Mm-hmm.
Until
it
the
happened.
Lord showed me, where I was going to be staying. I was like, well, maybe I can live out here.
Right,
Or
right.
whatever.
So what's funny is that our spouses, they have learned to speak to us. Like, so my wife would talk to Jill, Dre would talk to me when they need to figure out, well, why is she thinking the way she thinks? So he'll come like, hey, bro, let me ask you a question. So my answer typically will be exactly where her mind is and vice versa.
The moments that we have in the car where your wife, Kia, will look at me and be like, bruh, are y'all the same person?
Right.
Because I'll say something that he's already said. She's like, that is like wild.
Yeah.
So we're only 6 days apart.
Right.
And we actually think like maybe we were twins
On the way
spirit
down.
realm, and we got separated at birth or
She
something.
went to Florida, I went to Alaska.
Complete
Right.
opposite end.
Alaska, right?
Alaska.
This dude.
Can you imagine? That's why he mad, y'all. Because he was
was
cold.
born in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. So we're gonna do so wife and I still gotta do ancestry.com. So we're almost placing bets to wonder if there's somewhere on the family tree where we
I
fit.
have no idea, but it is literally uncanny how alike we are. Like, we think alike. It's just crazy.
And even how this podcast started. So I've been wanting to do one for a while, and so has she, but we never talked about it. I took a master class, and them folk we did the master class with, this is a shout out, man, David Shands and I forgot the guy's name, the E.T. the hip hop preacher, his guy behind the scenes, I forget his name. Very good class, but man, so it just really got me more into being really focused about doing this. Not only because I hate my job, I like to throw that in. If you haven't noticed, you're gonna hear me say that at least once an episode.
At least.
And did I already say it once? Let me just do it just in case. I hate my job. Y'all heard it? Okay. And because it's more. It's so much more.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads us into what we're talking about. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? How to stay motivated in tough times.
Yeah.
Developing inner strength, right?
Oof.
Because there's going to be a lot of times on this planet when things get tough.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's going to be a situation.
It's not if, it's when.
Right. It's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Hands down. So how do you stay motivated in tournament? Because sometimes even deeper than that, to try to play on my company name, or one of them, Stay Mad, was developed and birthed through I needed to develop inner strength. And then God growing me through tough times. And even though I complained, and y'all, we got other episodes coming about gratitude, let's just be grateful. I'm going to tell you now, you almost stay in a place, my opinion, you stay in a place longer the more you stay grumpy and complaining about
Oh,
it.
Lord.
Because,
How long have I extended my stay?
right, see? And that's, so what's funny, because I told my wife yesterday, we driving, and I don't like to tell people because they're like, how's work? I don't want to talk about it. Because you're not going to hear nothing.
It's over.
And if some of my coworkers
Day is
watching
done.
that know me, they
The
going to be
dollar is
laughing.
made.
But it's some things I just like, bruh, you know what I mean? But it's been every job for me. So I don't talk about it, right? Because I'm like, it ain't going to be nothing positive. But I got to this point now, and I'm trying to get to the healthier point of, I don't care. Now, you're going to get the best LeVar. Why? Because I work for God.
That's true.
I hands down believe I need to show up every day for him.
Right.
So when I'm at work, you're going to get my best.
You're a representative.
And as here's a dose, right? Inner strength. My inner strength comes from him. Like when you look at one of the verses I love, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It ain't LeVar Green strength because I will tap out because I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do have it, I'm about to respond the wrong way.
Yeah.
Mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the acronym.
Yeah.
Frustrated, angry.
Mm-hmm.
I have to literally lean on my relationship with God more than I ever have before. But I've always needed to. I just was hard-headed. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But now with this, and even as we kind of just continue to progress with the topic for today, that's how I stay motivated. That's how I stay determined. Is because God allows tough times to keep coming my way. Now I want it to get easier. I ain't gonna lie. I want it to get easier. I want to not even have to remember how tough things were, right? Because things are just flowing. But I'm more grateful now because I'm understanding. Oh, you behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I do things to cause it, He's not gonna let those caused moments by me go to waste either.
Yeah. But here's the thing, like, you talk about tough times keep coming. I look at it like weight training.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't build, you don't develop, you don't grow without some resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And so tough times is not necessarily like an indication that you're doing something wrong or you're on the wrong path.
Right.
Sometimes tough times come to pivot you. Sometimes it comes to take you a different direction. Sometimes it's just to develop your character, to show you what's in you. Because let me tell you, sometimes I didn't really know what was in me until I hit a tough time. And I was like, ooh, that's what's in there? Like some doubt, some fear, some disbelief, some anger, some frustration, some bitterness, some...
As life was
and I mean, and the list
Mm-hmm.
goes on or whatever. And so I think that, number one, it's about how you approach the tough time.
Right.
And like you say, it's not if, it's when or whatever, because it's
Guaranteed.
gonna happen. I mean, if we're honest about it, like right now, there are many people in this country that are living through tough times. Like, we're in a season of tough times.
Right.
And so it's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to function and manage the tough time? I look at the theory, and this is how I've been able to approach it now. Listen, this is from hindsight, because it wasn't this necessarily in the moment, but there's always something to learn.
Right.
When you lean in and say, what am I supposed to be learning from this? What is the lesson? What is my takeaway? What are you trying to grow in me or get out of me? Are you trying to push me in a different direction? Because if we stay comfortable, what is the motivation to do anything different? We kind of stay the same.
That's true.
And so growth doesn't come without some pain. I remember when I was growing up, listen, doctor might have lied. This might even be a thing. I used to get really bad leg cramps, and they called them growing pains. Luckily, they stopped a long time ago because I stopped growing.
Luckily.
But
Did she really have growing pains? If she stood up, y'all.
But it was so bad. Like,
Lord.
I can remember I would be like crying in the middle of the night
That's
because my
crazy.
legs were aching.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, it's just normal. She'll grow out of it. It's growing pains.
You asked God to stop him?
No, I didn't ask God to stop him.
The growing
I
pains?
mean, first of all, I was too young to even know that I could probably ask God to stop him or whatever. We talk about when I was probably like between like 5 to 10 years old. So I'm like a real young child. But growing pains, even though my leg cramps have stopped, I continue to have growing pains throughout my life.
Right. Not
know?
just physically now.
Not just physically, emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
mentally. But it's about how you lean into it. And actually, some of the greatest lessons that I've learned has been in some of the most difficult moments of my life.
Say that.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
And I think that's intentional. You remember it more.
yeah.
Don't touch the stove. It's hot. Right? And then what happens? Some of us, you ever been burned by iron before?
I have.
Oh my.
I have.
Listen, don't go do it
Don't try it.
if you haven't.
Do not try this at home.
That thing, and it never happened again. It happened once.
What you say ain't take but one time?
One time.
One time. One and done.
Point taken, right? Y'all, there are some things that you'll only have to go through once
Yeah,
if you truly learn a lesson.
yeah.
And here again, y'all, I love talking about God. I get emotional. I cry and stuff. I start talking about God because I just feel like there's nothing. We can accomplish so much more in life partnering with Him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then to be grateful for the partnership.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a right in a sense. You accept Christ, you become a citizen of the kingdom. It becomes, you have rights then. But for God to be like, hey, I want to do some work with you on this planet, that's an honor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Imagine the CEO of one of the biggest companies just call you like, hey, let's do a project. Don't worry, I'm funding it. I'm going to fund the whole project, right?
Right.
Bro, that's an honor. You know what I
That's a
mean?
real good analogy.
So as we talk about this, as we talk about life lessons, like for me, there's a few that I had to learn a lot more than once. 'Cause I didn't
I was
learn
just
them.
about to say that because, like, burn with the iron, yes. I don't need to experience that
Extreme,
again.
right?
But there have been some tests in my life that I'm like, this looks familiar. I think I've been here before. Because I do believe that sometimes when we don't learn the lesson that we're supposed to learn, or we don't apply it in the way we're supposed to apply it,
Right.
we're destined to repeat it.
Right.
And so, and it's not for punishment.
Right.
It's really for growth and
If we
evolution.
look at it the
It's
right
helping
way.
Exactly. It's about perspective and the lens that you look through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we can really feel like, oh, why me, and why is this happening to me? Why not?
Right.
You know, I sometimes think like
Said that.
sometimes God trusts His strongest people with some of the hardest tests. And trust me, I done been through some tests. I'm like, oh, bro, you think I'm stronger than I am. I love you, but
Right.
not this
And that's
one.
His strength, though.
Yeah.
Because another key of the kingdom of God that Jesus talked about is let the weak say they're strong.
Yeah.
Like, what we don't realize as humans is we've been tricked. Like, in the world, they say, oh, you gotta grind, you gotta be this, you gotta, like, almost to rely solely on you as an individual. When God is like, please just tap out already,
That's
so
not
I
my
can
time.
so I can divinely intervene.
Yeah.
And it's not that we sit on our hands, y'all. No,
Nothing.
it's a beautiful tandem of work that as I'm doing something like Christ would always say, He was around here when He walked the earth and He's doing these miracles. So I only do what I see my Father do.
Right.
Like, I'm doing what I've seen Him do. And what we don't realize is God shows us a lot, but we don't pay attention. We're distracted. We see everything else. We're woe is me in moments. Why am I going through this? And I heard one of my favorite motivational speakers, Les Brown, and he says, well, people cry like, why am I going through this? Well, who do you suggest goes through it then? Go pick somebody, right? And he says it so comically, but it's like true. Like, are you going to offer somebody else up for this?
Yeah.
Because if you do, are you offering up somebody else to get where that is supposed to take you? You better be very careful about
might
not
miss
wanting to
it.
go through something because y'all, when I tell you, like I heard, who was this? Auntie Benz. So we go to church online, me and my family, because the church we want to go to is in California. And Prophet Lovey, his wife, Prophet Maggie, they have one of their, like family, but she teaches. He called her Auntie Benz. Auntie Benz was giving a sermon the other day, and this is about inner strength. Now here's another dose. And she gave the story about like what happened with Christ, and what a lot of folks don't realize is, so Christ he went through an elevation point, like he in the streets, now granted, getting ridiculed, people talking crazy, this and that, until the Son of Man is lifted up, then we all be lifted up. But his elevation came really after the lowest point he can ever get to. And it's not even about the people talking bad about him. The Bible literally says he went to Sheol, the place of the dead one's death, then went back to the top and received what God had promised for him. And if he had to go through the process of people talking crazy about him, you got the people who kind of bipolarish back and forth. They love him, they hate him, crucify him, oh, give us more bread, right? All that, and to be publicly humiliated, and then to literally to go to the lowest point ever, then to be brought back and then elevated. That's a process of life. And if the creator of the universe went through that, why do we think we get to escape it?
Yeah.
The process part, right? You're going to have moments that you're going to have to show inner strength because people talking bad about you. You're going to have some moments where you got to show inner strength when people talking good about you too. Why? Because you might get too high on yourself. Also dangerous. Then you're going to have to really show that inner strength, motivate, determine, and more when you get to the lowest point of your life. What does that look like? I think it's different for everybody. Everybody don't necessarily have to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Because everybody's rock bottom is different.
Yeah.
It depends on how high the mountain is God is about to elevate you on.
Right.
So we just walked Stone Mountain today, and you start at the bottom, then you climb to the top, and then guess what? You still got to go back to the bottom at some point. It just sounds like the cycle of life.
Yeah.
You're going to have your highs and the lows, but how you look through them with the lens, you won't necessarily get too high emotionally and stress and everything else if you just really start looking at it the best way. And the best way I personally feel, y'all, through the Bible, is that trust and know that God gave you everything. And it's all His still. So if He says, hey, get this to somebody, then I won't be so attached.
Yeah.
And I'll be freely ready to give it away. And that way, I think even that's another way of, I think, God developing my strength is to get to the point where it's all His. So don't get so attached.
Yeah.
So if something doesn't go my way or something is taken from me, I don't get so emotionally bankrupt.
Yeah.
that process.
Okay. So here's something, and I've heard threads of this throughout while we've been talking, and you brought it up even in the scripture that you shared, like, when you're weak, he is strong. I think that, one of the issues is we view strength as only strong.
Right.
We don't look at it as though I can be vulnerable, I can be weak, I can admit that I'm in a moment, I'm having these emotions, and that's strength.
Awesome. I like how you put that.
But it's I honestly believe that sometimes it takes more strength to be able to say, I'm hurting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is awful. I feel terrible. And I think sometimes, whether it be through a faith lens, a Christianity lens, through just the world lens,
mm-hmm.
like we want to just bypass these emotions and just act like if we show any shape, form of emotion, that's weakness or
right.
whatever. And that's not what that has to mean. It's not about denying how you feel and not being honest with yourself. Like, this is activating the truth in doses. We're going to tell the truth.
Yep.
Sometimes, just because I'm faith-filled and I love the Lord and we done been through some things, and some of the things I shouldn't even worry about because he done took me through things before, that doesn't mean that I don't have a moment.
Right.
And I like what you said, like bankrupt. I don't want to go bankrupt in the moment. I don't want to go down to nothing. But I can be honest with him and say, this hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is hard. Like, I know you said you're going to be my strength, and I need you to be that right now because I can't, And so I describe emotions like toddlers. Let me just give you this.
All right, let me hear this one. I don't know if I heard this one yet.
I describe emotions like toddler. The more you ignore them, the louder they get.
I like that.
They will throw tantrums.
Yes,
they will show out. They roll around on the floor. So we think like if I just act like it's not there, it's going to go away. It does not go away. Sometimes what you have to do is you have to face the thing and be honest. And that's how you build inner strength, by being honest with yourself, where you are, what you need, how you feel, and then growing from that point. Because if you leave it unresolved, it's not just going to dissipate. It's going to still be there. And what sometimes happens to people is we bury these negative emotions and they're coming out in other ways that we don't even recognize. Mm-hmm.
All right, give an example for people.
Okay.
How to face the thing. That sounds like stuff.
Okay. So I'm a vulnerable moment.
Okay.
You guys have been here with this journey for us. We have been working to establish our family, to bring life into this world, to expand me and Andre. Yeah. And, that has been a journey. And so in the pandemic, I was like, Lord, you really got a sense of humor. Like, we in a pandemic and we going through fertility treatment.
Right.
We went through IUI, and it was a very emotional journey. Like, because you over the course of a month, you're building and you're thinking and you're doing all the things, and you're doing all of it for a result in the end of a positive pregnancy test. Mm-hmm. That is what you're working towards. Right. And so after you've done all the steps, you gotta wait 2 weeks, you're being faith-filled, you're believing, this time it's gonna take, it's gonna work, and you get the call, and it's like, it was negative. Mm-hmm. And the last time I got that call, we did 3 rounds. The last time I got that call, I hit the bottom. I was like, I'm not okay. Like, this is not okay. You know what I'm saying? And so rather than just act like I'm okay, oh, God's got us and he's going to, no, Lord, this hurts. I don't understand. I'm not, what am I missing? What's the part of the story? And so that looked like a day or two of me sitting in the funk.
Right.
They say it in the word like this, in the ashes.
Right.
Me grieving the thing that I want so bad that seems out of reach. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so it's about being honest about, I'm hurting, and allowing people like you, your wife, we have another couple friend, the Poozers, that we're really close with, other friends, the Christians, to surround us and to basically love on us and be like, I get it. I know it's hard, and for people to sit in the ashes with you, because sometimes people want to push you past the moment because it makes them uncomfortable.
Right.
They don't want to see you grieving.
Right.
They don't want to see your pain. But I needed that moment.
Right.
And a few days, I'm not saying that's what it's going to be for everybody.
Right.
I was able to say, okay, I've cried, I've yelled, I've screamed, I've done all the things, I've laid on my face on the floor, I even told God, I'm mad at you.
Right.
I don't understand. What are you doing? And not in a disrespectful way, but I think sometimes we think God is fragile or whatever.
Right,
like,
you can't handle me being mad.
Bruh, he already know. Like,
Right.
give it to him. And so in that moment, I had to be honest. Like, I don't get it. And, you know, in some ways, I was like, I don't even want to talk to you right now.
Right.
I love you, but
Right.
I need a moment.
Right.
And he was gracious enough to give me that and to surround me by people who could come and build up. So that's what I mean by not denying your emotions and just pushing past. Because what would have happened had I done that?
Right.
That pain is not just going to disappear.
It's not.
And so it's just like when you lose a loved one. Like, people think grief is just about death. It's the loss of anything or anyone.
Right.
A job, an opportunity,
Business, goals.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's like, just like you go through a grieving process when you lose a physical human person, you need to allow yourself that same process. And there are stages to grief.
It is.
You know? And so that's what I mean by not bypassing the moment, being honest with yourself about where you are and what you need.
Right.
And allowing the right people, to come around you and to hold you when you can't hold yourself.
Right.
That's why we can't do this alone.
Right.
Because sometimes you're not going to be able to.
So getting to that point of dealing with it, right? Whatever the reasons people may have for not wanting to deal with it, you know, they have. But y'all, we rely, and we encourage you to rely heavily on the heavenly creator, the one who made all this. Like, you know, I'm telling y'all, if I don't know nothing else, he got us.
Yeah.
He put us here. None of us willed ourselves to show up. I'm convinced of that, and I know no one can prove otherwise that we made ourselves to show up, right? He got us. Like the other scripture that I want to bring up, Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous hand. God literally is reminding us, I got you. I got you again. Hey, just in case you forget, I got you. Just in case you also forget, I'm God. Created everything. I know what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like the perfect parent that maybe nothing against none of our parents, but ain't none of them perfect.
Yeah.
So we don't have that representation in our earthly mind of what perfection is. But if you could spend time and think about what a perfect parent would be, there are times even that perfect parent will discipline you. There are times a perfect parent will let you sit in silence. There are times that perfect parent will let you cry. There are times a perfect parent will let you filter through emotions to get some kind of settled so you can now talk. None of us can really talk when we're hysterically crying.
Right.
You're not going to understand anything the person is saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you got to even allow people to get through those moments, and like how you said, to come sit with you and sometimes just say nothing.
And that's the thing. Sometimes I think people are looking for the perfect thing to say. Sometimes it's not about saying anything. It's just about being present. It's just about knowing that you're here. Sometimes the greatest things can be said in silence and presence.
Right.
And so, you know, but sometimes here's the thing that makes people uncomfortable. They don't know how to deal with it depending on what their journey is and where they are, you know, what they've been through. But it can just be being in someone's presence.
Now I'm about to say this because I guess we're on YouTube. We're supposed to be saying it's like, comment, and share stuff. Hey, you know, follow someone.
Don't come out a heavy moment, lighten it up a little bit.
Lighten it up a little bit. Like, comment, and share. You're going to see an icon somewhere. I'm going to put it, you know, we're going to put it on
somewhere
there.
on the screen.
But on Instagram, I Stay Mad. Then you also get
I am V Jackson, Truth and Doses.
Truth and Doses. So follow those. We'll subscribe. Share this with somebody you feel like this could be beneficial to. So we all going to have some deep moments. Y'all, it's a lot of people doing stuff just to go viral.
Yeah.
If we go viral, I want it to be literally for God's purpose,
Yeah.
for His name's sake.
It has some
Because
meaning and
somebody,
weight behind it.
right, because some substance, right? Because people are hurting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned America's going through a lot of things. Globally, folk been going through it from
In general.
forever and a day.
In
You know, we
general.
all have different things that we struggle with. If you think about yourself right now, you are going through something right now that you don't like. Every person, I'm talking about you
Find something
listening
to
right
look
now,
at.
there is something that you don't like that you wish can get better. And yes, many of us have a decent perspective to say, well, at least it ain't this, so it could be worse. And you're right, but it doesn't negate the fact that you're going through it. Go to the weight room. I felt so out of place the other day. And I used to work out all the time.
Really?
Went to LA Fitness, y'all, with my niece, and two of my nieces and my daughter. And I felt like a stranger. I'm walking in that
Wow.
thing. And so you saying wow. Why you saying wow?
Because you're Mr. Workout.
I love it, y'all. Like my other company, Activate You, Get Active, Stay Active, Live Active. Activate
That's how you used to like funnel some of that anger and frustration,
yes.
like through working out.
Miss it. Oh my goodness. So I'm getting back in the habit, y'all. I'm 220. I'm too heavy, but too short for 220. I'll tell you that. So I'm in the gym and I feel out of place. I'm walking around and I know the gym. I know where everything is. I know how to use equipment. But I feel out of place. Ain't nobody looking at you, LeVar. In my head, I walk around like, I look like like I'm just getting started. Like it's a New Year's resolution, but we're in March or whatever month we're in right now, April, right? So I'm in there, and here again, inner strength. This is still tied into what we talk about, staying motivated, determined, right? So I'm walking through there, and we're going to do this, the treadmill at like whatever, 10, 11, 12, incline, 3 setting for the speed. It's low. Oh, I'm unaliving at the moment, y'all. I was unaliving actively. Listen, I was so tired. So tired. I'm looking at my watch and I accidentally hit the emergency stop, right? I was so thankful because it took 2 minutes.
I need a minute.
It took 2 minutes to reboot. So I'm standing there like, because my heart rate was up. I'm like, oh my goodness. But I felt so out of place. But I know I allowed myself to get to this place because I made so many excuses for so many years about what other things were more important than working out. Is working out the most important? Staying healthy is the most important.
Yeah.
And that could be an aspect for a lot of us.
Yeah.
It's the workout and the eating, nutrition, all the stuff, spiritually, physically, mentally, all that stuff matters. But I put so many other things in front of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm at the stage now, physically, and most people, they see me like, LeVar, you look like you're in shape. Don't let the stomach that you can't see right now fool you. Because that's literally the only part of my body that looks out of shape. Everything else, like, oh, you look like you're in decent shape. But I know my blood, my cardiovascular.
Yeah.
So I'm on this thing, and we going so slow. And in my mind, here's a dose. Man, I used to be able to do X, Y, and Z. I'm a Hall of Fame college football player. I'm this, I'm that. And that's true. Go look it up. And I'm like reminiscing of where I used to be and what I used to be able to do. But dog, you chose to let yourself get to this point. Mm-hmm. You made a lot of life daily decisions to get you to your current level of out of shapeness that now you got to fight back up the hill because you let yourself get too low. I'm encouraging somebody today. Listen, no matter what the thing is, the reset button ain't too far away.
Yeah.
Make a decision.
But here's the thing, and as you were saying that,
right.
This is what came to mind. It's like, but you couldn't do that until you were honest with yourself about where you were.
Right.
So until you told yourself the truth about the decisions you made and took accountability for what role you played in getting yourself there, that's a big one. Okay. Right. So let's just talk about that.
Right.
Sometimes we want to look outside ourselves and blame everybody else for the issue. Mm-hmm. But there is a role you played. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that role is. And I think about in situations where and I want to make a distinction because this came to mind. When it comes to like physical or sexual abuse, there may not be a role in that way. I'm not saying in that case, but like when we're making decisions that aren't helpful towards ourselves, like I'd rather have a hamburger, but I know the salad is healthier. You know what I'm saying? I should have a piece of fruit, but I'm going to have this Snicker bar instead.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about stuff like that, like being honest with yourself about that. But here's the thing, this is what I also heard you say, like, to the outside, people looking at you, they would think one thing. because they're looking at the outer, but the inner is in a different state. And so you're talking about, like, I mean, that's how you have people who go to the gym and work out all the time and they die of a heart attack because they are not healthy on the inside. And so we can't just be so focused on the external and how we look to other people to not focus on what's going on the
start
inside.
on your level.
Yeah.
Start where you can start. So Dre, her husband, y'all gonna hear these names, so y'all gonna put the two and two together. Dre, that's her husband. He went to Stone Mountain Day. Two of my nieces and my homeboy. So we're not even at the mountain yet. We got out the car, we walk into the restroom. Me and Dre talking, I'm breathing hard. He said, "Dang, dog." Bruh.
That's friendship.
Yeah.
Friends can tell you, like, do you realize how hard you breathe?
He said, "Bro, already?" I promise you. And I'm like in my head, like, yeah, fool. Like, yes, I'm breathing harder. Listen, these contacts, and I'm laughing in tears. So, and it made me laugh. I'm like, I'm 4.5, maybe 5 weeks back into just trying to make this a habit again, right? Yeah. And I'm literally breathing hard for real. I'm like, I am, and we're not even on the hill. We're walking to the restroom.
Like, this is going to get progressively worse.
So what's funny though, as we walk into the restroom, it was this cat we saw there, a heavyset cat, and there was a lot of folk out there this morning. Had a faith group. They carried a cross up to the top of the mountain.
Okay.
And it was a big cross. Wow. Yeah. So Easter's coming, Resurrection Sunday. So, but heavyset cat was like, "Hey, it's my first time. Like, is this where you start walking the mountain?" Because so many people like, "Yeah, you just go up here, go around them." He said, "Is it hard?" I said, "We're like, just take your time, breathe, take your time, because it's not the easiest, but it's doable. Because you got some people walk up there that's older, significantly older, that look out of shape. They get to the top, like today, they ain't even breathing hard.
Right.
And I'm like, I try to run certain spots." Short
Excuse
distance.
me, can somebody find my lung?
Right. This lady it was an older lady hiking. She got to be 60, 70. Yeah. I'm not even playing. She up there, Caucasian lady. Had a little hiking stuff on. So this what she do probably. Because she had the fit for the hiking.
Geared.
I got to the top and I ran a little last stretch. So I get to the top of you over there, she looking at me. "You all right?" What you think that did to me, dog? Why you laughing? Listen.
She's like, "Oh, you think you did something?"
Right.
Yeah.
And then what I realized is by the time I got back to the bottom, she already made it to the bottom, was coming back up again. I'm talking about the whole mountain. The whole mountain. So I'm serious to say, because why did I almost for a second get in my feelings? Because like, "Oh, lady, don't do me like that, bro."
Right.
Because here again, what I used to do, that ain't got nothing to do with it right now, LeVar.
Right.
Where are you now? And I'm trying to drive that home because you can only do what you can do now for your now circumstance.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you got here now. What are you going to do now?
Right.
New opportunity, waiting for
every
you.
moment
You know what I'm saying?
is an opportunity to make a different decision, make a decision, and to pivot and to do something different. And so here's the thing, where I am in my journey with starting a family, people may be like, "Wow, you're able to talk about that and not get as emotional," whatever. It's because I've been all the things.
Right.
And I've been all the places. You get what I'm saying? Like,
That
I've
God has
had the
allowed you to go
moments.
through. Yeah,
exactly. I've allowed myself those moments to the point where it's like, okay, if you have like a wound, let's say you got a wound and it's healing, it's tender.
Right.
It hurts when you touch it. The more well it gets, the less it hurts.
Right.
And that doesn't still mean that I don't have moments.
And you're going to still surprise see proof of it.
Exactly.
There.
Listen, I got a scar right here. Child fell, getting in the bed. Not too long ago, and I'm like, a little shave up.
I was going to ask how long ago it was.
Yeah, it was.
I can't talk to her. I popped my knee one time getting out of bed.
Listen,
I had a whole brace.
This brother, he's a walking injury. At one point he was. We're not going to speak that into existence. But yes, no, like, we'd be like, I remember, so he was helping us move, y'all. Quick pivot story. So he's helping us move to this place where we're at now. And so LeVar comes to help. He gets out. They go upstairs. They're going to move the washing machine. They've been upstairs like 5 minutes. And he comes down and he's like holding himself and he's crying. And I'm laughing because, okay, stay with me. I'm like, bro, you just been up there for 2 minutes. What are you doing? Are you joking? No, he was serious.
I joke a lot too.
He popped his
bicep, popped and rolled all the way up.
Oh my gosh. It just
And-
hurts when you say that.
Woo!
Like, I feel that in my body.
I was like, ooh, and I knew it. So this is so funny because the story's funny now. The night
We can
before,
laugh at
right.
this point.
This is when Ray Lewis got inducted to the NFL Hall of Fame. It was like the night after. So however long ago that was, right? And he was sharing his injury that he got in the playoffs where he tore his bicep off making a tackle. And he explained how it felt. So when it happened, y'all, I was trying to walk the washing machine off the wall and bring it out. And I overextended. And bah! As soon as I did, I said, ooh. Yep. Can't go to the hospital. My oldest boy, he's 25 now. He just turned 25. Happy birthday, son, if you watch this.
Happy birthday.
He was there. And this fool, we play. I love my family, y'all. Some of y'all watching this be like, he never smiles like that at work. I'm at work. Anyways. So, so I'm holding it. And I'm leaning down. And I feel it. I'm like, ooh, this hurts. I said, well, I said, Terrell, and I ain't want to say it. I ain't want to say it. I know he was going to say it. I was like, call your mama. He started laughing. Pop, shake it off. I said, boy, if you don't call your mama. And I know I sound like a little boy, little punk. Call your mama. And he laughing so hard. Call her up.
I think that's part of the reason I was laughing because I was like, is this a joke? And then I quickly realized it was not a joke.
This one here drove so fast to the hospital through the rain. It started pouring out all of a sudden.
Well, it started raining as soon as we got to the hospital.
When we went to the fire station.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all, so we went to I was like, go to the local fire station. I wanted to wrap it because every time it moved. So we get there. Hey, I tore my bicep. Oh, good. We got a rookie here who can learn how to wrap it. Let me see. Ah! Opened it up. I was like, oh. Wrapped me up, gave me some medicine. Jill got me to the hospital. And then my little big brother, y'all, we're going to interview him one day.
Oh, my word.
He show up.
He was in the weight room cutting up.
I'm in there like this.
Like, there were memes and everything going on.
I had on all blue. I'm going to see if I can find a picture. I'm some kind of way trying to find an editor and insert this. Because he shows up. I had on all blue. I'm like this injured. He comes in just taking pictures. Pop, 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 pop. Picture. So, oh, bro, man, you all right, bro? You good? You don't care. Because you're not here for that. You're not here for that at all. You're just here to take pictures. And he started posting them on Facebook. And he started posting a picture of me and then Vegeta. And I watched Dragon Ball Z. Vegeta was always injured. He had a picture where he walking, holding his arm. Man, this fool posted a picture of me and him.
Yeah,
next
side by
to each
side.
other. So we got on this tangent about these injuries and taking care of your body and that side. But y'all was so funny now. But I was like, oh my goodness, that hurt. Now let me tell you about this. Power of the words. Be careful. Mm-hmm. I was at work a week before that, maybe 2 weeks at the most. Man, I just need some time away from work. I sure could use about 8 weeks off. You can ask my boy Larry. Larry, if you're watching this, confirm that. Put in the comments. You remember this. The rest of y'all coworkers who saw me, y'all can testify at my former job. And it happened. Now I was out of work for about 8 weeks.
Yeah, so be careful what you ask for.
Careful.
We laughing, but seriously,
yes.
Like your words have power. Like what you're talking about is really serious. Like what you speak has power.
Like y'all, and it's not even that you gotta believe. For a millisecond, you could be serious. I was serious. I wanted them days off. And God granted them days off. Like literally.
Yeah.
But imagine if you can work yourself to saying stuff about your future, your family, your life.
In a positive way.
Just like that and get everything you ask for.
Yeah.
There's a way. We gotta be connected to God. It's His grace, His mercy, His love. But we're in His image. And y'all gonna hear us talk about this a lot. How can you have the inner strength needed? Because I'm in His image. How can I stay motivated and determined? Because Jesus did it already. He paid the price. He has assumed the responsibility for my life because what He has done, because I accepted that truth. I accepted what I heard about it. And not that I'm convinced, but I'm convicted. Oh, you have caused me to understand this. When someone gets convicted in the court of law, it's proof that X, Y, Z happened, if they do it the right way, of course. And they go where they gotta go. And God, if we sit here and we say, let's throw in what we think we know, show me your truth, Lord, like He'll provide this conviction that you need. But you can always reject it. or you can accept it. But the level of responsibility that he has assumed that now can push us to where we have the inner strength that we need, the motivation that we need, the discipline, the consistency, all these things that people use and say for you to have this successful life. Y'all, the successful life that you want is tied into him.
Yeah.
It's all for his name's sake. Every product, company, inventor, manufacturer, they want their products to work because their name is writing on it. And if you call yourself a believer in Christ, a follower, a disciple of the way of the risen King, you're going to be prosperous for his name's sake.
Right.
And it's different spectrums and scales, y'all. Don't look at the next person. I want to, God, whatever you have for me,
Yeah.
I want all of it, and let it happen for your name's sake. Because now, y'all, it's not about your name and you doing anything. God wants you to be able to attract others to him so they can escape eternal death in the future. So why not bless Jill? Why not bless and let the manifestations of the blessing, which is the relationship with God, show up on their lives so people can be like, oh, I like that. How you get that? And now you automatically, and here's a key, here's a dose. When you get in your heart to be grateful and automatically understanding that God has done all this,
Yeah.
now you're the perfect marketing buddy. So why not keep sending blessings and favor and miracles? Because this one here can't stop talking about me if I'm acting like as in the position of God. Why? Because shoot, she gonna keep talking about me, and then my children who I created, who I don't want to have eternal separation from me when it's all said and done, they're gonna keep coming because of what they see going on in her life, and she gonna run her mouth for me.
And here's the thing, okay, and so sometimes it's not even, I truly believe some things we go through is because there's somebody that's coming behind us that needs to hear
That's
it.
good.
And
That's
so let me tell you, when I started counseling, the amount of things that showed up in the room that God had allowed me to experience and get to the other side of was uncanny. Like, I was like, shoot. And here's the thing, I can speak to this in a way not because of what somebody told me, because I've been where you at.
Right.
I know what that feels like. So not only can I have a level of empathy and compassion for where you are and what you're going through, it's not somebody saying, I understand you, but I've never been where you've been. And here's the thing, even though I've been there, I don't dare to know your unique experience because we're all different.
Right.
But I can come alongside you and say, I've been there. I don't know exactly how you feel, but I know how I felt. And so what can I do to help you walk through this journey? You know what I'm saying? And so, and honestly, that's one of the ways that I've helped, I've been able to build some strength within, is to take moments, and I believe anything in God's hands is useful. And so when I take even the worst moments and offer them back to him, and he's allowed me to use them for good, I take the sting away from the pain. Because I'm like, yeah, that hurt. Oh, but when I was able to sit with that person and help them through that moment, that felt not good that they were going through it, but it felt like useful. Like my pain was not for nothing. Like he can use everything, the good, the bad, whatever happens, if you offer it to him and say, I'm willing to use this for your glory, even though it may not feel good, you may not have orchestrated, you may have allowed it, whatever the case may be, I can use this to help somebody else.
Right.
And it helps for people to know they're not alone. Because like these people walking around and they look like their lives are perfect and they really aren't, or whatever, like they I saw something, and it's like, this is a really, I don't know why this popped in my head, but I saw something where you can actually like rent, like I think it's like in California, maybe in Hollywood, you can make it look like you rented a private jet. And so people are like acting like they own these jets and stuff, renting this stuff. And so it's like, that's why it's also so important to not care. It's not to not compare or align yourself with somebody else's highlight reel.
Right.
Because you're not necessarily seeing their low moments.
Game.
We all have them. And so we can get on the gram, we can get on TikTok, and everything looks perfect. You have no idea what that person is going through in their personal life,
bad plays
or where they've been. Here's the thing, but I'm gonna tell you, the people that attract me, the people who can tell the truth about, like, yeah, I look like this, but I've also been through some things. You know what I'm saying? And so it's about understanding, like, just because they're there in their story, you think they're there in their story, or maybe they're pretending to be somewhere. It does not mean that they haven't been through hard moments.
Right. And each hard moment is different. I do believe I believe there's space in this existence that we can get with Christ because His grace and His mercy, that things are just flowing. They flow. And I believe it really is how we look at life. Because what if we looked at the tough times or the bad things as golden? Mm-hmm. Like, what if we knew after every bad, let's say, hypothetically speaking, after every bad thing you experienced, $500,000 would go into your account automatically.
People will have a different aspect. They be signing up for some bad stuff. Like,
right.
I can't handle that.
Right.
Give me a little bit of that.
Right.
For $1 million, $500,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now you see this attachment to it that's valuable.
Yeah.
Y'all, there's value in every aspect of living that you will have. Mm-hmm. You can learn from somebody doing something the wrong way. You can learn from them doing it the right way.
Right.
How are we looking at this thing? Mm-hmm. And this inner strength, this staying motivated, determined through tough times, it really always boils down to, for one, I feel like your relationship with God, because that's how you can have the most positive outlook. Because then you know you got this help that nobody else can really do. And He can still help through humans a lot of times, right? But you know I got this thing. I got this game changer in me. You know what I mean? That is going to push me past this point, but with so much purpose, with so many points of value that I can add to my tool belt. Like you said, now I know how to deal with certain situations. I may not be able to say I know exactly how you feel, but ooh, this helped me. You know, oh, and also this. Here, hopefully that helps for you too. Y'all, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
It's a big community, a big family, human, mankind, all of us should be connected and helping each other get to being the best versions of ourselves based on God and the best planet we can leave, because one day we all gonna leave here. You know, so as we think about it, and as we get closer to a conclusion for this, is this development of inner strength is really very heavy how you see life. You know what I mean? Because I can't try to develop inner strength if I see things the wrong way all the time.
Yeah.
And I did on the aspect for a long time. I was an angry person. Mm-hmm. But I was so frustrated about circumstances, and I'm not saying but make an excuse, because I just really need to change, and I did, thank God. But I was so frustrated about things around me that weren't looking the way I wanted them to look. And then when I finally said, I didn't make Earth. I'm telling y'all, here's how I think. I didn't create this. So, what's going on?
Yeah.
And that got me to, and I'm telling you, that's an authentic conversation I had. That got me to the place where I'm like, all right, so let's just see how it works with you. Yeah. And things started flowing. And guess what? Tough times still showed up. But now, since I know the orchestrator of it all is behind it, it's no different than, here I go with my football analogies. My coach saying, LeVar, your hips a little slow, so I'm going to make you do these drills, and it's going to get your hips very tired, very heavy. You got to stretch more. You're going to be a lot sore. But in the game, you're going to be that much more quicker, right? So now I know the coach, who I call God, is literally knowing the best drills for me to do. So when the game comes or my opportunity comes to make the play, I'm in there. Yeah. I'm in there. Why? Because He has been allowing the drills to come my way, the perfect training opportunities, knowing what to study, knowing what to do. Y'all, everything you go through is purposeful. I don't care what has happened. Loss of life, business, everything, all this stuff, the things that hurt the worst can be the best training ground. Yeah. And you got to hold on to that. Yeah. You don't live in it forever, but you got to at least respect that it was sent to me to grow.
Yeah. All right, so some key takeaways, some things that we talked about today. Be honest about where you are. Like, you can't move forward in any way, shape, or form if you're not real about where you are and what you're experiencing. We don't want to set up camp and stay there too long, but we do want to be real about where we are. It may not feel good when we're going through it in the moment. Growth never does. Like, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And lean into it and figure out, what am I supposed to gain, or how am I supposed to utilize what I'm going through to progress to the next stage in my life. Because there is always a next, and nothing is wasted. I've said that so many times to myself, to other people. Nothing is wasted. No experience is wasted. No encounter is wasted. Like you were just saying, like, if we look at it through the right lens with the right perspective, there's always a lesson to learn. And so inner strength is not always about outward strength. It's about being able to be honest, to be real, and to also build your community of people around you that can help you through the hard times. And we find safety in the counsel of certain people, you know, and you want to be mindful of who you invite into your inner circle, but, you know, find you some people that are, you know, going where you want to go, or on the same path as you, like-minded, believing the same things, trying to move in a certain direction, and be honest with yourself and with them.
Absolutely. You also, like we asked earlier, listen, if you got something, you know, drop some things in the comments. We're actually going to be looking at comments to see if there are topics, things you want to talk about.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going through comments and stuff. Listen, if there's topics that you want to hear from us, questions you've had, burning things you're like, well, you know, I heard them say this, but I wonder about this aspect of it. Please drop it in the comment section. We're going through. We're going to make sure that we circle back. We'll create a segment where we're able to answer some questions. Might be some of the midweek stuff that we do in between our episodes, our doses when they drop. Please drop some comments, like, share, subscribe, all the things.
And every 2 weeks. So you'll expect to see us every Wednesday. Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
And through the week we'll be dropping different things.
Little nuggets, little doses of truth.
Yeah. So we thank you for, you know, tuning in, activating the truth in doses, where we are speaking truth and
sparking transformation. We'll see you next time. Come on back.